At the making of this video, the Phoenix Suns have a 5-1 record, with their wins coming against the Dallas Mavericks, Sacramento Kings, New Orleans Pelicans, the Utah Jazz, and the Denver Nuggets, and they have looked very impressive. So in today's video, I'll be discussing how good I think the Phoenix Suns will be this season, as well as their players. But before we get into that, I ask you to drop a like on this video because it helps my channel grow and only takes a second of your time. Also, subscribe to my channel to help me reach 650 subscribers before the end of January, and comment on this video to start a conversation with me because I respond to every comment, and play that intro. So Phoenix has been really good, but the secret to their success has been their defense, as they rank 3rd in the defensive rating and they're number 1 in opposing team points. And most would think if they were going to be elite at something, it would be at offense, because of their plethora of shooting and their big three of CP3, Book, and Ayton. And to be honest, I don't know if this great defense can carry on for the whole season, but I do think this shows that they could be a top 10 defense in the league. And the scary thing with this team is the fact that they have a lot of offensive talent, and so far they have only been 12th in offensive rating and 24th in points per game. And despite their struggles, they still have a great record against some pretty good teams. So far this season, Devin Booker hasn't played as well as we know he's capable of, only averaging 20 points per game, shooting 34% from 3. And obviously Devin can be better, and I expect him to play like an all-star this season and average over 25 points per game. I think alongside Chris Paul, Devin will have his best statistical season, since Chris is a top 5 playmaker in the league and can set Book up for the easiest shots of his career. And since I have Phoenix making the playoffs, it will be exciting to see how Book does in the playoffs, since throughout his career there has been a certain group of people claiming Booker only puts up as good of stats because he's on a bad team. And I think this year he will put those narratives to rest. Chris Paul also hasn't been playing as well this season, averaging 13 points per game and 8 assists, which is fine, but he's shooting 40% from the field and 33% from 3. And I expect those percentages to go up. And this season, I expect Paul to regress a bit, but I still think he will be a top 10 point guard in the league, and he will continue to make his teammates better and be an extra guy who can close out games. To my surprise, DeAndre Ayton hasn't had a good start to the season, where I would have thought he would have his best season since he would be playing alongside Chris Paul, who is known for making the centers playing alongside him way better, from Tyson Chandler in his New Orleans days, DeAndre Jordan from his Clipper days, and Clint Capella from his Rockets days. And I would assume Ayton's next in line. But so far this season, he hasn't been that good, only putting up 12 points per game and 11 rebounds, shooting 54% from the field. And I don't think it's alarming, because I think Paul and Ayton are just figuring out their chemistry, and I still think Ayton will solidify himself as a top 10 setter. But I doubt he makes the all-star team, since in the West, AD, Jokic, Towns, Gobert, and maybe even Kristaps Porzingis, depending on how much he plays this year, all of those players have a higher chance to make the all-star team than him. But I'm not too worried, because I know Ayton will be great this season. You can argue the only players that have played better than expected this season so far is Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and Cameron Payne. And in the case of Bridges, he has looked like an early candidate for the Most Improved Player award, as his 3-point shot looks way more improved, and especially his dribbling. He now looks like a player who can go off the dribble to the rim, which was not a part of his game before. Bridges is also a very good defender, and he has the ability to guard the opposing team's best perimeter player, and he has the versatility to guard the 1 through 4. And I think right now he's the perfect 3-and-D player for the modern era. So far this season, he's been averaging 15 points per game and 5 rebounds, shooting 50% from 3, being the Suns' second leading scorer. And I think his points per game could even go more, as he gets more used to a scoring role. And in the case of Cameron Johnson, he is showing that Phoenix made the right move selecting him in the 2019 draft when most didn't like the selection. But so far this season, he's been putting up 13.5 points per game, shooting 42% from 3 in only 22 minutes. And I think he can keep that up and take the leap to one of the best shooters in the league. And this isn't a fluke, since he nearly shot 40% from 3 in his rookie season. And the impressive thing is that he shot 42% from 3 on 6 attempts, which is quite a lot, especially in only 22 minutes. And I think this season he will be their X factor, and I believe he'll become one of the more underrated shooters in the league. In the case of Cameron Payne, before coming to Phoenix, he was known as a trash bum. But so far this year, Payne has looked like a really good backup point guard, averaging 8 points per game and 4 assists, shooting a staggering 46% from 3. And this might be a sign that he's a solid NBA player now. And I don't think it's a fluke, since in his 8 bubble games, he was putting up 11 points and he shot 51% from 3. So I think them having a solid scoring guard who can play make and shoot off the bench can strengthen their depth. Suns also have Jay Crowder, who I think will be a good 3-and-D player for them, and Dario Saric is returning from an injury, and I think he could be a solid backup 4 off the bench with his ball handling, 3-point shot, and passing. But to predict the course of the season for the Suns, I think the Suns have established, to me at least, that they are a very good team in the West, in the league of teams like the Blazers, Mavs, and the Nuggets, as a dark horse contender to make it to the finals. And I honestly can see them being as high as the 3rd seed this season with the way the Nuggets have looked and with the way Dallas has looked without Porzingis. So there's a real chance they can be even better when you take into consideration that Booker, CP3, Aiden, and Crowder haven't been playing as well as they can. But if I had to make a prediction on where they would finish, I think they will finish with the 5th seed, and I can see them going as high as the 3rd seed and as low as the 7th seed. But I don't see them beating the Lakers or the Clippers, and I don't think they have a real chance to make the finals, but I'm definitely not sleeping on the Suns, and they're a very good team. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know how good you think the Suns will be this season. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel to help me reach 650 subscribers before the end of January. And drop a comment on this video to start a conversation with me because I respond to all my comments. And I'm out.